I think I might take a little break before season 15. We'll see. Well, it's certainly been a while. A lot has happened over the past few months, but it would take a full video to talk about it. So I'll save you some time and suggest that if you care enough or are curious, feel free to pause and read the first couple of seconds of this video, and that'll get you up to speed. Otherwise, enjoy the show, and if you're watching these reviews back to back sometime in the future, yes, I am currently, once again, trying to grow a nice, proper beard. Surely, fourth time's the charm. We are back with classic Doctor Who reviews diving headfirst into Season 15. Coincidentally, at the time of recording, Season 15 is actually the most recent Blu-ray classic collection to be released. Although we here in New Zealand are still hoping to eventually get last year's Season 20. Thanks a bunch, Disney. Today I'll be taking a look at 1977's Horror of Fang Rock. Like most of classic Doctor Who, I hadn't seen this one before today, and man did it take a lot of motivation for me to finally watch this. Like, I must have put the disc in my PS5 3 times this week before finally committing to actually sitting down and watching it. Because, let's be honest, sometimes you're just not in the mood to watch something, but man, did this one turn out to thoroughly impress me. This eerie adventure sees the Fourth Doctor and Leela land on a small island next to a lighthouse in the middle of a storm. As the lighthouse experiences abnormal technical difficulties and the inexplicable fog begins to roll in, it becomes very clear that the viewer is in for something different from old Doctor Who. Very cool sound design and atmosphere from the get-go, though I reckon this one would look beautiful with the updated Blu-ray collection special effects. Particularly the falling meteorites and the boat, ship crashing into the rocks. The miniatures look cool, but they're a little bit too Thomas the Tank Engine to be taken seriously. The story is thankfully quite straightforward, but for goodness sake, don't accidentally glance the plot synopsis on Wikipedia like I did, because it really only focuses on the very end of the story. It would be like summarizing the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy as the tale of two hobbits who must escape Mount Doom after it explodes with the help of some giant eagles. Basically, the Doctor, Leela, the lighthouse crew, and some stranded survivors are slowly stalked by an unseen force. You could almost view this one as a sort of pseudo-slasher movie, but I think that's probably going a bit far. Sure, there are plenty of characters getting hunted and picked off one by one, but it is still very much a classical sci-fi mystery, first and foremost. Classic, not classical, they're not breaking out into song or anything. Something I feel this serial did remarkably well is develop the side characters. It's got a real bottle film story thing kind of feeling to it, where there are characters you like, characters you absolutely despise, and the highest credit I can give to something like this is that there was at least one character that I really didn't want to die. Like, I genuinely cared about them and hoped they would get out alright and the Doctor would be able to protect them. He could not. Honestly, yeah, this was a really great time. It got quite a lot of smiles and chuckles out of me, whether intentional or not. At the start, there's a lot of funny quips with the Doctor and Leela speaking over one another. I really love the episode 3 cliffhanger. I didn't lock it out. I've locked the creature in. Dun dun dun. Oh, and this out of nowhere slap had me absolutely reeling. Leela got no chill. Followed by this filthy look she gives Leela in a later scene.
I too used to believe in magic, but the Doctor has taught me about science. It is better to believe in science.
Girl, you just finished talking about aliens. What do you mean? There's the odd moment I thought was a bit dumb. Like right at the start, when danger very first presents itself, Leela literally goes against the Doctor's direct advice and wanders out to hunt this creature, this deadly creature, without telling anyone? I don't know, I don't think Leela would put herself in that level of danger without consulting the Doctor first, especially after what they've been through recently. Also, something broader I'm finding out about myself and the way I feel towards Doctor Who. I really prefer the more gentle and sympathetic Doctor that can still be serious and angry when he needs to be. I've complained about the third and fourth Doctor's treatments of companions before, but this really was just a reminder of how different each actor's interpretations of the character can be, and the fourth Doctor's got a real mean streak. For instance, the second Doctor would try to help a hysterical, terrified, screaming woman, maybe try to calm her down, make her feel safe. Whereas the fourth Doctor just barks to, "Get her out of here!" Absolutely no patience. But again, those are just personal things. I can't really fault this serial for anything major, aside from two potential gripes. Firstly, there's a quick scene transition that I thought was very poorly done. The last time we see a particular group, there's three characters standing together opposing danger. And then the next time we cut back to them, there's two of them opposing danger, and the other one's over here getting killed. Like, that could have been done a lot better. But hey, this is basically a nitpick, right? One scene transition not looking that great. That just means that the rest is excellent. But, secondly, there is one little detail that I feel could potentially derail the entire story. What exactly is stopping them from returning to the TARDIS and escaping? Nothing. There is literally nothing stopping them. They're not so trapped that they can't leave, because multiple characters venture outside the lighthouse and into the fog numerous times. When people started dying, there was literally no reason the Doctor and Leela couldn't have said, "Righto, follow us, we're out of here." Now, obviously, you wouldn't have a story that way, but once I thought of it, I just could not get that out of the back of my mind. Like, in early Doctor Who, we're talking like early 60s, the writers were always concocting convoluted ways to separate the Doctor from his TARDIS. But here, they could have just left at any time and saved so many lives. I suppose you could argue, well, if they left, then they wouldn't have found out about the invasion. But one, that's a spoiler, and two, yeah, I guess, but for the longest time, they didn't know it was anything other than just a monster trying to kill them. Makes me wonder, of all the other times that the Doctor has escaped from danger, what if the danger was planning an invasion as well, and the Doctor just gapped it before finding out about it? So it was like, oh, okay, yeah, we're safe, but, you know, incoming invasion? Just something to think about. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Chalk it up to the Doctor wanting to focus on getting to the bottom of this mysterious electrocuting creature and prioritising that over saving lives. Whatever, I just wanted to put that out there. Now for a very quick spoiler talk, or spoiler sentence. I would recommend you watch this one, especially before I talk about the ending. So if you want to avoid the spoilers, go to this point in the video here. I will say that it might be a bit of a slow burn for 3/4 of it for others, but for me, I really enjoyed it, and that final episode goes hard. Okay, spoilers for a 1977 episode of Doctor Who. The creature is a shapeshifter that can electrocute you if it touches you. It's also a Rutan, a race that are in an eternal war with the Sontarans. End of spoilers. That name sounds familiar. I voiced a character called Rutan in a comic drama when I was a teenager. It was Sonic the Hedgehog 30 years later, and they were in a echidna that was related to Knuckles somehow. What a throwback. But anyway, it's interesting how they should bring the Sontarans up. I wonder if we'll be seeing them again in the future. It's actually pretty clever foreshadowing by the showrunner or writer or whoever it was in charge of including that nice little detail. And on one final note, doesn't that just look like the tastiest lolly you've ever seen? Or like a gooey, chewy, apple-flavoured treat. Or a sour rock candy. Potatoes for dinner, rootins for dessert. And that's the horror of Fang Rock. I liked it, and I hope you like this review. Feels good to be back, and I can hopefully stick to my self-imposed weekly upload schedule. Oh, also, Leela has blue eyes now instead of brown. That's lore, apparently. See you next week when we finally get to meet K9!